What is the number one way you will know if your relationship will succeed? Hey guys, welcome back to 5 nothing 100 nothing.com. I am Fugit, and that stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. Guys, today I want to talk to you about the number one way to know if your relationship will succeed. So this video is for those of you that are in a relationship. Maybe it's been rocky, maybe it's early on and you're trying to figure out, am I doing everything I need to do to be a good partner? Is there things that are missing, or how can I figure out if this is the right person for me and if, this is going to be something ongoing, right? So whether you're male or female, again, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the relationship, but there's something inside of you that's like, well, is this going to last? Is this going to be long term? Okay. Now, everybody, no matter who you are, has differences, right? We're all a little bit different. We have different backgrounds. We come from different families. We grew up in maybe different parts of the country or the world. And all of that initially in a relationship can be attractive, right? So if they're from a different culture, or, you're athletic and they're more artsy, you can kind of see those things in the very beginning as appealing because they're things that are not necessarily naturally in you. So you are intrigued by that, right? And so sometimes people say you've got to be just like your partner or have, the exact same values and, come from, get approval from parents, friends, etc. Now, that might make it easier. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make it better, okay? So there's a lot of factors. You'll look at, a lot of different experts, coaches, what have you, friends with advice will tell you what they think is going to make the relationship better, or what's going to, nurture it. I mean, and you've all heard stories, and maybe you've been in the situation yourself where you feel like you gave everything to a relationship. You gave your all. You could have given no more, and the person either wasn't on the same page, or they're never going to change, or what have you. And you feel like you're just banging your head against a wall until finally something happened and the relationship dissolved, right? And from my experience, what I've noticed is that in a lot of different relationships that are successful long term, I always believe that Anthony Robbins' quote of success leaves clues. Okay. I've known people that are like two peas in a pod. They met when they were 17, 18 years old, and they're almost like twins. Like they do everything together. They, this and that. They're just like, they seem like they're meant for each other. And they're very happy, and they've had long lasting relationships or marriages. But I've also known people that are extremely different, and you might know one partner or the other, and then time goes by, and then you meet their significant other, and you're like, they seem so opposite of that person, and you wonder, okay, they've been together 5, 10, 20 years, whatever it is, and they just seem to make it work. What is that, like, that factor that's there? Like, what's the secret, right? What's going on that they can get along so well when they seem like polar opposites? Now, this is something that I find to be like true across the board, and it's going to let you know if long term you're going to make it, or if you're going to end up theoretically killing each other to where it's like, okay, I can't take this anymore. And that one difference is this: it's focus. Okay. Now, it's an active decision, so it's not something where you're going to look in a horoscope, or you're going to look on this chart and look for, a scientific method for how how a relationship, how to know if a relationship's going to work, right? It's not like that at all. Okay. It's really this simple. As you get to know somebody, you're going to find the differences, right? Especially after the honeymoon period, where, people start to let their guards down a little bit and they're more comfortable in the relationship, and or you see things seeping through the cracks, so to speak. right? And that you see those little things where you're like, oh, I didn't see that before. Now, if you have like extremely strong feelings for this person, and or maybe you have you're already married, you have a family, you've merged your finances together, so your world is really one, and and things are good sometimes, but then things can be rocky. I say this: there's a lot of times it comes down to focusing on the positives, focusing on the things you do have in common. For instance, my girlfriend and I have polar opposite on in a lot of ways, religious views as well as political views, and you would think those are definite deal breakers, right? Like, how could you possibly be on the same page or be on opposite pages with that and still coexist? So, by understanding that power of focus, it depends on what you emphasize. If you know that you have differences of opinion and agreement on things, all you need to do is simply say, you know what, I respect your differences, that you're different from me in these ways. If you can both be more logical in discussion with respect and not get emotional, then and make it a who's right, who's wrong situation, and get caught up in ego, then you can learn from the other person. And in some ways, you'll find that over time, you may not totally agree with that person's viewpoint on things, but you'll respect it, and you might even find some little truths in there that you adopt, and at least if nothing else, see the opposite person's point of view. Okay, it's very it's very dependent on the person, the situation. It does take two. You can't have one person that's in on this and says, you know what, we can easily focus on the negatives, or we can focus on the positives and let that, nurture that and let that grow, that love, that connection, that relationship even deeper. And again, this is something that needs to be, figured out, calmly discussed, depending on your situation. And when you can find that agreement where, yeah, there's always something, right? There's always something. I mean, who even looks in the mirror every day and loves everything about themselves, loves every decision they make at meal times, decisions with free time, decisions with work? We're all a work in progress. We're all, trying to paint the canvas that is our life. And, we're humans, we're imperfect, but we're constantly looking for progress, not perfection. And it's the journey. None of us know how long we have here. If you have somebody in your life that you really value, you really care about, you've got time in with them, and again, maybe you have some, life decisions that have been made together, again, financial or, with family, and you're looking for a way to ensure that you're going to make it, then focus on the things that you do have in common, the reasons you're in love, all of those things. It's where you put your focus, where you set your eyes to, that is going to make a significant difference in the quality of the relationship. You can take anybody. I've seen a guy, a buddy of mine, who had this wonderful girl. It checked all these boxes for him, but he had issues within himself, and he wanted out of the relationship. So he just started to focus on the things that they did not have in common, or the little pet peeves he had, and just fed that, right? He set his eyes in that direction so that it would end the relationship. Eventually, it just continued to grow and grow, and it was something so insignificant, but his ultimate outcome that he wanted was to end the relationship. So he tried to give her every reason to not want to be with him. And eventually, be careful what you wish for, because you'll get it. And then in hindsight, you'll go, wait, what did I give up? What did I lose here? So again, if you're the only one that's doing this and the other partner is not, that's going to be a real struggle. Could they be moving in that direction slowly? Sure. But, it starts with your actions. If you're being kind, considerate, patient, loving, and communicating clearly the things that you need and why you care about this person and want it to work, then in a loving way, not in a judgmental way, not in an ultimatum way, you let your needs be known and why you think that, hey, if we just, you know what, I know we have these differences, but if we're both focusing on the things that make us so awesome, and just put on the back burner or, just excuse the things that are different. Now, I'm not talking about like abuse, whether it's substances, physical, verbal abuse, things like that. I'm talking about like little things, like, again, things like, preferences, hobbies, choices of political parties, even taste in, free time. You don't have to have a partner that likes to do everything you do. It's okay to have time away from each other to explore personal interests. One person might belong to a certain club or like to go to this gym and you like that gym. That's fine. Do you. And when you're feeling complete in yourself and you're not losing your personal identity in an effort to keep somebody else happy, you're both going to be happy if you're both on the same page. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe. Hope that helps. Send your questions, your comments. I've been doing a lot of videos based on viewer requests, and I love doing those. You guys have some awesome questions. Please spread the word and reach out to me. Comment on the video, and I'll get back to you rapid fire. Take care, guys. Bye.